Hello, this is Boxing Bros UK. I'm Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about Chris Billiam Smith versus RIAKPORHE, the rematch for the world title.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, I'll go through their details. So, yeah, Chris Billiam Smith, 33 now. These are all according to BoxRec. So if there any mistakes, blame them. Actually got a better KO ratio than I thought. 68%, 13 KOs in his 25, 19 and 1. 6'3", you know, so he's a big cruiserweight. You know, sizable cruiserweight. Notable win. Yeah, Chris Billiam Smith. Yeah, otherwise known as the gentleman. Bless his heart. So yeah, beat Isaac Chamberlain, unanimous decision. Okoli, or Lawrence Hugoli, as I like to call him, majority. Yeah. Last time out against Master, well, I'm sure Chris will get into this, and I will as well. But didn't look great in that fight, did he? Yeah, but his inside work got him out of trouble. And his only loss is the guy that we're talking about today, Richard RIAKPORHE. So he wants to avenge that, of course. On to RIAKPORHE. He's a bit older than I thought, RIAKPORHE. 34. I didn't realise he was 34.
Yeah. There's black don't crack. That's what they say. It's not working for me, though.
yeah. Well, I'm getting there, 40 this year. So yeah, he's got a good KO ratio. You can certainly scrutinise his record though, and I'm sure we might do that. 76% KO ratio, 17-0, 13 KOs. He's listed as 6'5". I thought he was around 6'4", but is he 6'5"? I didn't think he was that big, but apparently,
he's quite tall. I'd probably say he's about 6'4".
Yeah, he looks more to me about 6'4", but anyway, sort of around that height. Last time out, I mean, again, Chris is definitely going to get into this. Ducked the IBF mandatory against Opatara, we think. He fought a guy called Dylan Breguion. I mean, 3 KOs this guy had. I mean, he looked like a French binman, bless his heart. I mean, he had no right to be in the ring.
The thing is with this fight is, the guy who he fought is a very, very good, well-rounded fighter. So he took, I think he took Tony Bellew the distance. I think when Bellew was cruiserweight champ.
Yeah.
Like he's just good at everything. And he's nearly 40, but he was giving Billiam Smith the business. He was giving him the business. Yeah. He was tagging him all over. He was winning the fight. And then obviously, like you say, the inside game, he broke his rib and his rib.
Sorry, I'm with you.
Hold the line. I've got a call. Someone's ringing me.
No worries, mate. No, these things happen on live, so it's all good. We can rock it. So yeah, I'm sure I'll sort of carry on while he's having to do what he needs to do. We'll probably edit this out, but if not, yeah. So.
No, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that.
I said you'd edit it out, so it's all good. Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah, all good. Right.
Yes, we were talking about Masternak, weren't we? What really?
Yeah. So his inside game saved him, and he was coming back into the fight, and he broke the guy's ribs. The guy's ribs were like sticking out; they were really badly broken, so he had to retire. But the thing is, this is the thing. I love Billiam Smith, and I want him to win. But that last performance was terrible. That guy was just doing simple things like European style, high guard, tight guard, and he was tagging Billiam Smith through the jab. I think you can blame it on he wasn't really up for it. It was supposed to be a knockover job, blah blah blah. So he was like underestimated the guy, or his head wasn't it. All that, but you should not be getting. I think it just showed that basically he's overachieved a bit with Lawrence Okoli, because I think the win against Lawrence Okoli again, they were sparring partners in the gym. So if you're a sparring partner, so he knew how to negate Lawrence Okoli. He knew how to negate Lawrence is hugging. And the reason why we all know now why Lawrence Okolie hugs so much, because he's chinny like Amir Khan. He can't take a good shot. That's why he hugs so much.
He kept timing on that little uppercut as well, didn't he? He kept catching with that uppercut because Okolie was coming in and Billiam Smith just took a step back and was just kept hitting him with that uppercut, didn't he?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, he beat Okolie, but Styles, he hasn't really beat anyone. Every fight he's been in, when he's beat people that have been good, like Chamberlain, who's like European level, the Irish kid who he fought.
Oh, Tommy McCarthy. Tommy McCarthy.
So he's always, the fights that he's won, they've been wars. He's always been in wars. And Riakporhe said something at the press conference that you can be tough, and keep getting the thudded, then a crack appears. And then all it takes is one good shot to shatter the glass. And I do believe Riakporhe is right. Like, if you're always having wars, it takes its toll on you. And I do think so. And he knew how to beat Okolie because they're sparring partners. So he beat him, and he hasn't looked good in his first defense. And he didn't really look. The thing is tough. And toughness.
Yeah, he's very durable. Very durable.
Yeah, toughness does not give you longevity as a world champion. It just doesn't. You can't just rely on toughness.
I think Riakporhe said some interesting there. You had some good insights there, Chris. Actually, there's a lot to unpack there. Actually, I was trying to take in all what you were saying there, and I think one of the questions I always like to ask questions because it just gets me kind of thinking. Do you wonder whether is Chris Billiam? You could have made this argument for Riakporhe. Do you think Chris Billiam Smith is actually at world level, or was he a little bit kind of like you said? He knew Okolie really well. And it played into his style was perfect for it, really. So is he maybe a little bit lucky to get that world title,
I do. I think if he fought anybody else, Opataya, Zerdo Ramirez, he ain't winning. He ain't beating them. And and after really thinking about it, I want him to win. I'd love it if he wins. But
me too.
Riakporhe hasn't fought anybody great. Let's put that out there. But when he did fight someone just below world level in Billiam Smith, he won. And he must have got a lot better. He looks like he's got a lot better. So I do think Riakporhe's got. I think Riakporhe's going to win this one. I really do. Because Billiam Smith, he just gets hit too often.
Yeah,
and he's in too many wars.
I said to you earlier, I think this is another one, a bit similar to our video on Sanchez v Cabiel. And what I'd like to say as well is get people, feel free to, like, whoever's watching this, when you do, put some comments in there. We'd love a little bit. If you want to slag us off, we don't know what we're talking about, tell us we're on point. Get in there, join in with the comments. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I think... Is it a 50-50, or I mean, you're more leaning to Riakporhe, but are you kind of 60-40?
I am. After thinking about it, after watching their fight back, and then after watching Billiam Smith's last fight and Riakporhe's last fight, Riakporhe fought someone who's tailor-made for him, but
the French sweeper.
I just think Riakporhe's fresher. He's not been in any wars. He's beaten before, and the thing is, what Billiam Smith has got to do to win this fight is he's got to go to the body. He's got to get inside to the body. And I don't know what it is, but his defense is a bit leaky. And that guy is nearly 40 and he's not got the best jab. He's got a good jab, but and he was lighting him up. And luckily he got inside and he got the body shots off. But Riakporhe is not nearly 40 and Riakporhe's not old and war-torn like that guy was. And I just think he'll have a little bit too much for Billiam Smith. A little bit too much.
Just to riff off of what you were saying, Chris, I watched the fight back earlier, or at least most of it before we put up the stream, and I couldn't believe how much Chris Billiam Smith was being tagged. Like, the guy was kind of jabbing right hand, which was just kind of like, and getting hit clean, solidly clean.
Smith was coming back into it, but the thing is, what he was doing is he was using he was taking a jab so he can land a body shot, and if he does that against Riakporhe, he didn't go down. He's a tough man. He's got a hard chin. The only time he went down was when the ropes, and he got saved by the ropes. He is nails. But too many wars, and Riakporhe's got better, fresher, looked good, and he's coming in with confidence. Billiam Smith, he can say what he wants. He's always in wars, and he's not coming in confident because he's already lost to this guy, and he didn't look good in his last fight. And he only won because he broke the guy's ribs. But he had to do. But that wasn't his plan. He didn't think, I'm going to let someone box my head off and then break their ribs to win. He didn't think that.
It's not really a strategy you would employ, is it? Really? But he was I mean, when he did get inside Masternak on the clinches and when he was kind of stepping it, he was getting some good body work in there, and that literally saved him in that fight, because I mean I had him about 5 rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1 down. I mean, he was way down.
Yeah, no, he was losing that fight, and then luckily, but he was coming back into it because he was hitting into the body, because what he was realizing is, I'm hurting this man to the body, and he was going, well, it's fair play. That's all well and good. He made the adjustment. He started coming back into it. But Riakporhe's a different animal to that guy he was fighting, and he can do everything better than that guy. He hits harder. He's faster. You know. Yeah. So
he's a machine, isn't he?
I just think Billiam Smith, this is going to be a tough. It was a close competitive fight with Riakporhe. It really was. Yeah. However, I just think that Riakporhe's going to have too much for him. I do think that. And because he's been in so many wars, he's not looked good. I just think this is, I'd say 60-40 in Riakporhe's favour.
Yeah. Would you say, it was split decision against Riakporhe, wasn't it? So it was close, fairly close.
It was close.
Yeah.
So we just have to hope that he can do. But then on the other hand, playing devil's advocate, Riakporhe, he's not got balls. He should have fought Joe Apataya, pulled out the purse bid. He could have fought Lawrence Okoli, ducked that fight. He's only fighting people that he can beat. And the only reason why he's fighting Billiam Smith is because he's beat him before. He doesn't want to challenge himself. He's not fighting Zerno Ramirez. He's not doing nothing.
I got a quote. There's a quote I got from Riakporhe, actually. And he said, he would say there's a bit of spin on this. And he said, the IBF, he was the IBF mandatory for Joe Apataya. And he said, my promotion team pulled me out for reasons unknown. I mean, that's like, he should be an MP. Should be a member of parliament.
The reason is, you didn't want that smoke. Either he didn't want it, or Ben Shalom said, no, you can't fight him because he's not on Sky.
Oh, no, Ben Shalom.
I hate Ben Shalom. Ben Shalom, Ben fucking Bellend. Like he's refusing to work with other promotional outfits. He's pulling his fighters out purse bids, and he's just ruining his.
We saw this, didn't we? I know. I want to, obviously, because I can be a bit guilty, as you know, Chris, of going off on a tangent. But we saw this with Big Shong, Shazam Shalong, with Fraser. He pulled Fraser Clark out, didn't he? Originally,
Fraser Clark out. He pulled Daniel Dubois' sister out of a purse bid. He pulled Riakporhe out of purse bid. He's just absolutely a joke. He pulled out. What's that? Adam Azim, he pulled him out the other day.
Yeah, and the thing is, Boxer are trying to they want to get in line with Queensberry and Matchroom, and they're nowhere near it.
They're not going to get on them Saudi shows and get that Saudi money by doing what they're doing. They ain't going to get it.
No.
But we digress.
Anyway, we digress.
So conclusion, what's your prediction? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I think I'm being a bit ruled by heart here, Chris. So I think I do tend to be a bit like that as a person, because I think the case you make for Riakporhe is compelling, but I am going to go for a very hard-fought split decision win for Chris Billiam Smith. One of his biggest attributes, and you alluded to it earlier, and I know he's got a great chin and heart, but I think one of his biggest attributes is he's able to grind back in a fight. He's got that ability to be when the going gets tough, you know, certain men or people, they start to wilt. He seemed to get the better out of him when he's under pressure. And I've just got this feeling that he's going to be set upon by Riakporhe. Riakporhe's going to fancy it, and he's going to find some scrappy way to grind it out. So that's just where my kind of feelings are on it.
So you go in Billiam Smith, yeah?
Split decision for Billiam Smith, yeah.
I'm gonna go. Well, having you said that, when they had their fight, Riakporhe was blowing out of his arse at the end as well. Yeah. He wasn't like fresh. Billiam Smith had worn him down. It was a close fight. But I just think he's been in too many wars, and he's got lucky really beating Coley because he knew how to beat him. And Riakporhe didn't fight Coley because everyone thought Coley hits really hard. He's really huggy. Nobody suspected that he had a glass chin like that. So now he's been found out. But anyway, my prediction is I just think Riakporhe is going to be a little bit fresher and have a little bit too much for him. And Billiam Smith's been getting hit too much. So I'm going to go Riakporhe, unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision for Riakporhe.
No, actually, I'm going to go Riakporhe stoppage. That's what I'm going to go.
Late stoppage?
Late stoppage, definitely late stoppage, yeah.
I do think, I know we're sort of rounding up, I do think that if Riakporhe's condition, because he's a fairly bit like AJ, you know, when AJ struggled with his gas tank, because he's he's quite a muscular dude, Riakporhe. I think if he could just maybe lean out, come in that little bit better condition, that could be what swings it. So I kind of see where you go.
His arse at the end of the fight, but so was Billiam Smith. And it was a wicked fight, but I just think he's going to be. He's a bit older, a bit wiser, and he's definitely fresher. And he'll have too much for him. That's what. I'm going Riakporhe, Billiam Smith. We're the Boxing Bros UK.
Like and subscribe.
Please, please subscribe, guys. Subscribe. Leave comments. Good or bad, we don't care. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah. Cheers, Chris.